Hey everybody, it is Kellen Nitro for Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, and this is my take for AEW's Fight for the Fallen, the big charity fundraiser they did in Jacksonville on July 13th, 2019. Again, this is my thoughts, my take on all of the action, kind of my opinions and that stuff. Not so much a review, but just things that I found interesting during the card. Of course, the event took place at the Daly's Place Amphitheater in Jacksonville, the first wrestling event on a major card that I can remember taking place at a concert amphitheater in a long time. I think the last time they did stuff like that was back in the OVW WWE developmental days. They used to do stuff at Six Flags in Louisville all the time, and it actually looked really good on camera. The entire crowd that had gathered for it was hot the entire night. It looked great on camera. The venue looked awesome on camera. The only real problem I have is that venue sits about 5,500 spectators, and there was still a lot of empty seats when you get up top to the top level. There you could see on camera and that stuff. So if they got 4,000 for a paid attendance, it'd be a very lucky 4,000 for the night. But there you go. It's kind of a reflection of wrestling events in the middle of summer right now, and the fact that I don't think wrestling draws as good as it did even 2 or 3 years ago at this point in time, thanks to, I guess, outside influences, what the other company's doing, etc., etc. So we start with the buy-in, which is their version of the pre-show. The librarian Peter Avalon taking on Sonny Kiss in the opening contest. I love Avalon's heel presence. Is a very Rick Rude-esque type character. It's got a really Rick Rude type vibe to it. Sonny Kiss walked out with the Jacksonville Jaguars cheerleaders and did like a little dance number. Very entertaining. He's going to be a colorful kind of opening card face for the AEW when they get on TV. I don't see him any higher than maybe the mid card at this point in the game. And there's still dissension between Leva Bates, the female librarian, and Peter Avalon, the male librarian, over who's the actual librarian. It's one of the quirky, odd storylines that AEW has going on. And if you watch the Being the Elite web series, you know exactly what I mean by that. Sonny Kiss got the pinfall with a split leg drop at about 5 minutes and 10 seconds. It's a pre-show match. What do you expect? It got the crowd into the show. Then we saw a great pre-taped interview in the back with Dustin and Cody Rhodes kind of hyping the main event against the Young Bucks, and this was probably one of the best interviews that I've seen from both wrestlers in a long time, hyping the importance of the main event. That's how you sell a show right there, is you roll that out. That great stuff. Second match, and the final match on the buy-in, you had a women's tag match, Riho and Britt Baker taking on Shoko Nakajima and the debuting Bea Priestley, who got a huge pop, huge ovation from the crowd in Jacksonville. This is a huge North American debut on a major promotion for Priestley. She's one of the earliest signees for AEW, and this team, Shoko Nakajima is Tokyo Joshi Pro's current champion, and Priestley is the Queen of Stardom right now. Stardom's big champion. So Alex Marvez mentioned that the women's division is stacked. I would agree with this. I mean, they got some big names going forward. I think their women's division is very reminiscent to what TNA had for a knockouts division in the late 2000s. It's just a matter of how to utilize it, and I think they've already started to utilize these athletes a lot better than TNA did under the Vince Russo era. Oh, of course, it doesn't take much too, but there you go. There was a mistake earlier on where Britt Baker went into the wrong corner to tag the wrong partner. I lulled a little bit. This is the point in the show where I noticed that Alex Marvez, as the third man on commentary throughout the night, he was only the second man in the pre-show with Excalibur kind of calling the play-by-play. Excalibur and Jim Ross did the pay-per-view with Marvez as the third man. It's gotten a lot better, and it flowed a lot better during this show. I thought during the first half of this show. The second half of the show was kind of tiresome, and it kind of floated back to the level he was at Double or Nothing. But he started out strong, and I think as they continue to work with him, he'll be a great option for commentary going forward for AEW. The crowd looks hot, not in a wrestling way either. It looks like it's a boiling night. There's a lot of people using programs as fans and that stuff. I can only imagine how hot it was. If you went to the card, comment below, how many drinks did you have to get throughout the night? How many bottles of water or beer or whatever your Coca-Cola, whatever your vice was that night. It looked like a scorcher out there for sure. Mega ovation when Baker and Priestley finally squared off in his tag match. Great pop from the crowd. This again is a tag match. You know what? I'll probably go back and rewatch, soonish again, because I really enjoyed how this match flowed. I thought it was one of the best women's tag matches I've seen this year, and it told an excellent story from bell to bell. Did anyone else's captions pop up during the closing moments of this thing? Post them below, but I think they had a caption glitch on the YouTube feed. I was watching the buy-in on YouTube. Nakajima grabbed the pin on Rihu after a step-up Hurricane Rana reversal. It was, again, an awesome tag match. Few botches, but I'll attest that to nerves going forward. So I thought that it was, again, a great match for where it was in the buy-in. Then we closed the buy-in with a Kip Sabian interview, another solid interview. He says, no animosity towards Hangman Page, but everything's been handed to you. That kind of sets up the other advertised, like a semi-main event type match that they would have. Kip Sabian, Adam Page on the main show. So everybody heads over to Bleacher Report Live. Again, free replays for the show as they got it right now. Kind of the same like what they did with Fyter Fest. So you can watch actually both shows on Bleacher Report Live to get your AEW fix absolutely free right now. Heading into the main card, we go into a 6-man tag with MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Shawn Spears versus Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela. And this was a very interesting 6-man tag. Spears is over big time as a heel after his actions towards Cody at Fyter Fest. Him and MJF are almost equal in heel level heat here. MJF, of course, we've talked about him and how hot he is as a bad guy. I get my wish here to see Havoc and Allin together as a team. I think I spoke about that in the Fyter Fest NITRO'S Take. So we get to see him in a 6-man unit here. This is pretty cool. And I think they reworked Janela's music again. It seems a lot better now than whatever they played at Fyter Fest. Dissension on both teams is Janela and Allin have issues and Spear and MJF have issues. They referenced the Janela Rio 1 Blake 182 brawl as a warm-up with the literal scum of the earth. And I lulled. And, of course, you've seen the World Star video going around and that stuff of Enzo Amore and Joey Janela getting into it at, of all things, a Blink-182 show in a New York area. I thought those Blink-182 shows were all about just getting drunk and having a good time, but I guess people's ideas of good times are different from people to people. There was a point in the match where MJF hit Spears' perfect 10 taunt and then flipped him off. Again, kind of leading towards something down the line, maybe at All Out. We'll have to wait and see what transpires in the coming days and weeks where they have this. I think that probably Cody versus Shawn Spears is probably saved for All Out at this point, but MJF's going to have to work his way in here somewhere. Maybe they have him as a guest referee. Who knows? All 6 guys looked great at times. It was an unreal 6-man opener, and Spears gets the pin with the perfect 10 Death Valley driver, and stares down MJF on his way back to the dressing room. So it's apparent that Shawn Spears is out to take out anything and everything that has to do with Cody Rhodes. Alex Jabali was there. He got ejected by Atlas Security. I lulled again. There's been some funny moments in this show so far. We had an awesome video package put together by the AEW video crew. Their videos are just getting better and better. Hyping Brandy Rhodes and Allie. Immediately after the two shake hands in the ring, Awesome Kong comes to ringside and stands in Brandy's corner. And that anoints Allie as the unabashed crowd favorite, the face in this match. She's fighting a lot from behind in this one. Allie snags a Dragon Sleeper on Brandy while the ref was distracted by Awesome Kong on the outside. That was a great spot. That was well done. Brandy grabs the pin with the Bionic Spear. They call it such because they're using kind of the Lex Luger Bionic forearm metal rod in forearm type thing that they had talked about back in the early 90s with Luger, with Brandy with her clavicle because of the Stardom neck injury that she suffered, what was it, about a year, 2 years ago, something like that. But anyway, she grabs the pin with what they're calling now the Bionic Spear, The time for that one was 11 minutes. I should mention, too, that the runtime for the previous match was 13:15. I've neglected to mention that for a six-man tag, if you care. Post-match, Brandy and Kong attempt to beat down Ali, and then Aja Kong walks out to confront Awesome Kong. Yes, we have a face-off between the two Kongs. It's like Saturday night at a local drive-in. The Kongs are in town. And that leads into potentially something for All Out, where we might see a tag team match with Ali and Aja Kong taking on Awesome Kong and Brandy. Or, even better, maybe two singles matches where we get Awesome Kong and Aja Kong on a one-on-one encounter. Either way, sign me up for either of those, because I think that would be a great addition to a already stacked undercard for All Out. Following match, the winner gets a chance to meet up with best friends at All Out for a chance at a first-round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Title Tournament. Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. You had Angelico and Jack Evans. And you also had the team of A Boy and His Dinosaur. So Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus with Marco Stunt. The official name they're giving it is A Boy and His Dinosaur, but it's Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. There was some great team evasion tactics from all three teams. Psychology in the ring. I recall where Jungle Boy was trying to reach for a tag to tag in one of the members of the Angelico Jack Evans tag team, and both Angelico and Evans jumped off the apron and landed on the floor to avoid the tag. That's the type of psychology that you don't rarely see in WWE, or heck, in even some other promotions that put on freeway dances or triple threat matches, triple threat tags, and so on and so forth. So kudos to them for thinking outside the box here and actually treating it like a, it's weird to say a legit sport, but in a legit competition like this, you'd want to save yourself from, the juggernaut inside the ring if it's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus at that time. So, just hands off and drop. But man, for a larger athlete, Luchasaurus can move. He reminds me of Matt Morgan, OVW era, early WWE era Matt Morgan. Just a big, giant juggernaut that can get around there. And maybe a little bit of Morgan's Blueprint TNA run in the later 2000s. Again, just a big guy that can move and move well. Dark Order gets the pin with the Fatality double team. They get the matchup with Best Friends at All Out, which is a great little feud. They can build that up. And again, the winner or the winning team gets a first round bye in the AEW Tag Team Tournament. The runtime for this match was 15:15. And again, that sets up Best Friends versus the Dark Order at All Out. There was an awesome Adam Page video. Again, the AEW video crew knocking it out of the park with all these vignettes. We had Kip Sabian versus Adam Page, one of the advertised big matches for Fight for the Fallen, up next. And it was a solid showing for both wrestlers. Page is still working the leg injury from Double or Nothing. It seems like that's going to be a storyline going into All Out. Match of the night for sure. Well, a match of the night contender. I had down match of the night at that point. It would be tied with another match later on. Just full disclaimer there, in my opinion. Page hurts his knee on a back moonsault to the outside. That was a prevailing storyline going forward in this card, and just Adam Page's knee and the condition of it going into All Out. And I think that's going to be, again, a major storyline in Page Jericho. Page hits an oh my god lawn dart powerbomb on Sabian to the ramp from the ring. They use this ramp quite a bit, and you'll see it when you watch the show if you haven't seen it already. It's like a ring level ramp that's kind of offset to one corner of the ring, and it was amazing the amount of play they got off of it. I'd like to see that set piece used quite a bit. I think it was one of the quirks of performing at the amphitheater, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the use of that set piece throughout the night. Page nails a powerbomb at 19:03 and gets the pin. Sabian, though, that close, and I think Kip Sabian will probably be one of the top contenders for that AEW World Title once they get onto TV in October, and especially if Adam Page is destined as the guy coming out of All Out with the AEW belt. Remains to be seen. Post-match, one of the creepers of the Dark Order attacks Page, and then there is a really sloppy code breaker executed, and of course it's Chris Jericho. He stated that he would have an open mic. He hits the Judas Effect back elbow on Adam Page, which opens up Page on his eye and causes a lot of swelling, a lot of redness and that stuff. And again, with the knee, we have a beat-up challenger now going into All Out. Would this be the last we see of Adam Page for tonight? Stay tuned. We'll talk about that. I really like how all this came together, too. I'm really loving how this storyline with Page and Jericho is shaping up. Tag team match next, SoCal Uncensored. So we had Kazarian and Scorpio Sky here for SoCal Uncensored take on the Lucha Bros, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Chris Daniels was in the corner of SoCal Uncensored. I dig the Lucha Brothers samurai outfits they had. That was pretty cool. Marvez hits us in the first 5 minutes of the match on commentary that Pentagon Jr. has wrestled over this was his 91st match in 2019. I doubt that there's many wrestlers even on the WWE roster, even the guys like Baron Corbin or Seth Rollins and guys that get used almost every WWE card that have wrestled 91 matches so far this year. Like even the Braun Strowmans who are currently off TV right now and off the house show circuit, I don't think have hit that magic 90 number yet. So, good for Pentagon Jr. I imagine Ray Phoenix isn't that far behind either, so. Pentagon Jr. has some stiff chops. If you've watched his matches, you know this. Daniels gets involved after getting chopped on the outside. He hits an Arabian moonsault on the Lucha Brothers and then is immediately ejected. That's one thing about AEW that I noticed, that the play by managers on the outside is kind of limited to maybe one spot and then they're booted out of here. I think that's kind of the Mid-South influence of this promotion so far. There's a great finish to this match with Pentagon grabbing the pin off of Ray Phoenix's double stomp. That occurs at the 15:10 mark to wrap things up. So a nice tidy 15-minute affair, and Lucha Brothers didn't set up a ladder in the middle of the ring. They challenge the Young Bucks for a ladder match at All Out, and we go to All Out with that. So there's another match added to their undercard. So we'll have the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks. I imagine for the AAA tag team titles, we'll have to wait and see how that shapes up. Kenny Omega versus CIMA was up next, and I love Justin Roberts' announcement for Kenny Omega. It's almost as good as his John Cena announcement. This match itself reminded me of watching a mid-2000s Ring of Honor match. It was a lot of great junior heavyweight maneuvers. About all that was missing was Lenny Leonard and Dave Prazak on commentary almost. It had that Ring of Honor mid-2000s tape trading vibe to it. Both men were going tit for tat with setup moves, and in this one I have labeled as tied for match of the night. So we have two match of the night contenders here. I might actually lean more towards Omega and CIMA as the one-on-one match of the night, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this match from bell to bell. CIMA with a Meteora from the stage to the Timekeeper's table where Omega was laid out. It seems like Omega's matches, more often than not this year, have been kind of more hardcore based with a lot of outside the ring stuff and a lot of uses of chairs and tables and such. Not complaining about it one bit. I think that might be just an adaptation in Kenny's style in the ring and his presentation that he wants to present to the fans and whatever, or what's been booked. Either way, it's a lot of fun. One-Winged Angel and 1-2-3 for Omega, and the message is sent to Jon Moxley for All Out. The runtime on this match was a 22:30, and it's Omega's first win of 2019 on a major promotion. I'm not sure if it's his first win anywhere across the wrestling world, but for a major promotion, whether it's New Japan or AEW, this is Omega's first win of the year, and it only happened on July 13th. So, it's been a long winless run without seeing him get the Duke in a match. For a guy that's usually used to, going over at Wrestle Kingdom, which is on January 4th, and getting that first win of the year out of the way, I think, that adds another dimension to this AEW version of Kenny Omega and his character going forward. This was excellently done, and again, I love this match. 4.5, 5 stars maybe. Match of the night for sure. Chris Jericho then walks out and he has a open mic segment. Supposedly this was his first non-scripted promo in 20 years. Jericho, just to sum it up, Jericho says it goes beyond a thank you. It says it goes back to the opening battle royal, and with it all, it's freaks and geeks being held on par with Omega Jericho 2. Yes, back at Double or Nothing, the winner of the battle royal would contest one half of the AEW title, I guess, tournament final at All Out in Chicago, with the other half being the winner of the main event between Omega Jericho as they clashed. So he's got maybe a little bit of a point there. It's the heel version of Jericho again, making sense in a promo, definitely. Jericho says if he loses to Adam Page at All Out, it's the beginning of the end of Jericho's illustrious career. Page then jumps Jericho as he runs in from the back, and they have a pull apart, and it's a great segment to build up the All Out main event. And then we head to the main event of this card, which was the Brotherhood, Cody and Dustin taking on the Young Bucks. We had another great vignette video featuring Tony Schiavone and Jake the Snake Roberts hyping this main event. Again, the videos that they did for this event knocked it out of the park. It was amazing. Emotional entrances for both sides, awesome build. Lots of heel style mockery by the Young Bucks in this match towards the Rhodes brothers, copying taunts and such, and we've seen it in the weeks on Being the Elite leading up to this event, what they were doing, kind of behind the scenes on these interview segments and such. So Bucks are still the heelish little pricks that they are sometimes. So the Bucks took the advantage early, just seemed to anger Dustin in the ring though, and he soon came back. The square AEW ring posts again come into play, this time to Mac's shoulder, and this is the thing that they've done really well with the past few cards now, stuff is utilize the set, utilize the ring and all corners of it and assets of it to kind of get us established with, hey, this ring is different than the WWE ring. It's got, stuff that could, legit hurt you in this. So again, more ramp play with Matt Jackson backdropping Cody onto the ramp from the ring. Amazing spot there. Tons of double teaming. Must be one of those relaxed rules tag matches I spoke about in the Evolve 131 NITRO'S Take. Go back and take a look at that and let me know what you think about that. Stereo Power Slams and Stereo Shattered Dreams by the Rhodes brothers. But a Meltzer driver leads to the 1-2-3 for the Bucks, and the time for that one was 31:25. So they went over a half hour in the ring, and for Dustin Rhodes at his age to go 30 minutes, even in a tag match, that's unreal. Good on him. Dude's got conditioning, and I don't think we've seen the last of Dustin Rhodes in this run yet. I think that we're probably going to see him well into the television debut on TNT later this year. Post-match, Matt Jackson grabs the mic, says, "No hard feelings, all in the spirit of competition." And he says that the Rhodes are one of the best teams they've been in the ring with. Omega's music hits, and out comes Shad Khan, Jungle Boy Luchasaurus, Kenny Omega, Brandy Rhodes, and a couple other dignitaries from the city of Jacksonville. And it's announced that $150,000 has been raised for the VAAC in Jacksonville. Cody says you can't counter program what AEW is doing. Shot at Evolve and WWE for running the Evolve 131 10th anniversary show at about the same time as this show. And Kenny adjusted his famous show outro from goodbye, good night, bang to goodbye, good night, boing, because it's a gun violence fundraiser, obviously. So, class move by him, and the crowd ate it up. And in fact, you know what? That should be the new AEW outro. Call me crazy, I love it. So quickly wrapping up, out of 10, I will give this show an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed Sema and Omega. I enjoyed the women's tag in the buy-in, and everything that this show had to offer was top-notch. AEW just picking up steam. Next big event for them is All Out, and of course you'll see a recap of it here as soon as I get a chance to watch it. Alright folks, later days, happy wrestling watching. Like and subscribe. Share this video around if you like what I had to say here. Or comment below if you didn't. Either way is good. Later days, happy wrestling watching. Stay safe. Kellen Nitro. Talk to you later.